Previously, on the Ufologist's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay, in our last show we covered the Broadhaven Triangle. That's in Wales in the UK, actually where I'm from. But we only pointed out the misgivings of the military-based press officer there during the time of the UFO sightings. And we showed you this.
There's a place in Wales called Broadhaven, a lovely little seaside town, where in 1977 hundreds of locals had so many UFO sightings they fondly called the area the Broadhaven Triangle. At the time, there was a stiff, upper-lipped Air Force chappie who was the press officer for the RAF base there, who, when asked by the press, did he see or hear any recent UFO activity over the last 2 days, he said, and I quote, "No, I didn't, but if the aliens do request a landing here at the base, our normal landing fees would apply." Yes, it seemed the village idiot had competition.
I want to revisit the UFO event, and I'd like to bring in Dr. P to tell us a bit more about it. Dr. P, over to you.
Thank you. On the 4th of February 1977, in the Welsh village of Broadhaven, a large group of school children saw a dome-topped spaceship hovering behind some trees near their school. There were other adult witnesses that saw the spaceship and were even chased by a 7-foot being in a silver suit. Other residents in the area were visited by 2 men in black, described as strange, identical twins who had faces that looked as they were made of wax, who apparently visited 2 families at the same time. And to cap it all off, a UFO was seen flying into the sea off Broadhaven's coast the next day. 2 months later, Rosa Granville, who ran the Haven Fort Hotel in nearby Little Haven, described seeing an object land nearby which looked like an upside-down saucer, and 2 giant, faceless, humanoid creatures with very long limbs and blank facial features emerging from the craft. She said there was so much heat and light and flames of all colors coming from the spacecraft that when she visited the field the next day, she found 2 inches of burnt ground. An officer from Broadhaven's local Air Force base in his report mentioned the possibility that a local prankster was at work, and the description of aliens fitted exactly the type of protection suit that would have been issued in the event of a fire at one of the local oil refineries. The pupils at the school were then asked to draw what they had seen, all producing similar images despite having been separated to ensure a genuine outcome. They all drew the same shaped spacecraft. The Broadhaven incident is still the biggest mass sighting event ever in Great Britain, and the mystery remains unsolved to this very day.
Thank you, Dr. P. A government department called S4 that investigated sightings at the time wrote, "There is general speculation in the neighborhood that a practical joker may be at work." Give me a break, will you? And who are S4? I know my UFO stuff, and I've never heard of S4. I never ever heard Nick Pope mention that department. Who are S4? I think that intrigues me more. And I'm now going to Google British Intelligence Department S4 to see what I can find. If you want a more detailed account of the Broadhaven Triangle, watch the Netflix series Encounters Episode 3, The Broadhaven Triangle. It's brilliant.